Avatar 2 ending and credit scene explained. Today we're going to explain the Avatar 2 ending and credit scene. Let's get right into it. Avatar: The Way of Water, the long-awaited sequel to James Cameron's multi-film saga, has finally arrived in theaters. While it is a standalone story, The Way of Water ends in such a way that it directly sets up Avatar 3 in 2024. After a long absence, the Sky People return to Pandora with full military force to plunder its natural resources. Humans are hunting the Tulkun, Pandora's whale-like species whose brain fluids prevent human aging. Jake Sully, a former human-turned-Na'vi warrior, takes up arms against his former comrades in arms once more, but this time, he has his own family to protect. Jake is the leader of the Na'vi resistance, waging a guerrilla campaign against the Sky People using military tactics he learned as a Marine. As a result, he is public enemy number 1 to the Resources Development Administration, which is attempting to colonize Pandora because the Earth is rapidly becoming uninhabitable. Jake is targeted by the forces of the RDA, in particular Colonel Miles Quaritch, who's back from the dead as a recombinant, an avatar who possesses Quaritch's implanted memories and his same hellbent desire to kill Jake. Recom Quaritch, aided by a team of other Special Forces Recoms, decides that the most ruthlessly efficient way to track down Jake is to target his Na'vi family. Wife, Neytiri, and their children Neteyam, Loak, Tuk, and adopted teenage daughter, Kiri. Jake champions Spider, a human adolescent, and Sully's kid's friend who was left behind on Pandora as a baby when the humans fled, is also caught up in Quaritch's campaign against Jake. Spider, as it turns out, is the son of the late Colonel Quaritch and resents his father for what he did to the Na'vi. More on that in a moment. Jake believes that staying and fighting the RDA will only bring death and ruin to the Na'vi because the Sky People are after him. The Sullys leave their forest dwelling, Omatikea clan, and seek refuge among the seafaring Metkayina clan. Their children quarrel and brawl, there's a redemption arc for a whale befriended by the ne'er-do-well Loak, and there's a lot of gorgeous underwater sequences as the Sullys adjust to life with the Metkayina and the Way of Water. Unfortunately, Recom Quaritch and his team eventually track them down and take Loak, Tuk, Kiri, and Spider hostage aboard an RDA sea vessel, using them as bait to lure Jake to them. Jake avoids certain death and turns the tables on the RDA with the help of his Metkayina allies, wife, and son, as well as big help from the sentient whale-life creature, Peakan. The end battle sees Recom Quaritch's team slain and the RDA ship sinking as Jake, Neytiri, Neteyam, and Spider all do their part to free Loak, Tuk, and Kiri. After losing his eldest son Neteyam in battle with the RDA at the end of Avatar: The Way of Water, Jake vows to stop running and stand his ground against the RDA. That's also a good thing because it turns out Recom Quaritch isn't dead after all. As the RDA ship sinks, Jake and Recom Quaritch fight both tooth and nail trying to slay the other. Jake appears to be successful as Recom Quaritch's body floats to the bottom of the flooded wreckage. Meanwhile, Kiri, who has developed an uncanny ability to bond with and command sea life, uses her newfound abilities to save her family from drowning. Despite his hatred for what his father Quaritch did to the Na'vi, Spider saves Recom Quaritch from death by pulling his body from the depths and returning it to the surface. When Neytiri put a knife to Spider's throat, Recom Quaritch's decision to lower his weapon, a son for a son, paid off handsomely. When Recom Quaritch is revived, he invites Spider to join him, but the feral child chooses to return to the Sullys instead because Sullys stick together. In the end, Jake and Neytiri bury their eldest son, but they can find comfort in their memories of his life. Tonowari, the Metkayina clan's Olo 8-Kan, rejects Jake's offer for the Sullys to leave, claiming that the Sullys are now Metkayina members. The conclusion of Avatar: The Way of Water confirms that Jake, Neytiri, and their family are staying with the Na'vi waterfolk, the Metkayina clan, to prepare for the next stage of the human-Na'vi war. The film concludes with another Na'vi victory, but on a much smaller scale than the first Avatar. It is also not as much a total victory. Jake and Neytiri's oldest son was murdered, and the Sky People remain firmly established on Pandora. Colonel Miles Quaritch's Avatar clone is still alive, and General Ardmore's new human base of Bridgehead City is nearly finished. With Quaritch still alive and knowing where Jake Sully is, it appears that Avatar 3 will feature the human forces attacking the Metkayina people in full force. Jake's final words in the film are "This is where we make our stand," implying that Jake is aware of the impending attack and that the seas are where he and the Na'vi will defend themselves. Avatar: The Way of Water, on the other hand, has no post-credit scene. However, that doesn't mean that there isn't any reason to stick around for a few minutes after the end of the film. When the credits start rolling, audiences are treated to some extra footage of Pandora that is still just beautiful to look at. In addition, you can listen to The Weeknd's newest song, Nothing Is Lost, You Give Me Strength, which was written for the film. That's all for today, and we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.